For the third year in a row now, I've attended PAX Australia at the end of October, and it's always been a shit time. Not because of the con, no, the con is fucking awesome, but every single year the trip is surrounded by shitty life stuff. This year was different, however. Well, it started shit, but let me explain. I got so focused on getting work done that I forgot to book accommodation, and by the time I remembered, there weren't a whole lot of options. Where we normally stay was fully booked, so I had to find something else. Thought I had it sorted, rang them up to make sure, and it ended up being $500 cheaper than booking online. Strange, right? I asked the person on the phone multiple times to make sure we were booked in for all 3 nights, and each time they said yes. Fast forward to Wednesday last week, the day before I fly, still no proper confirmation email or anything. No nothing. Rang them for the 3rd time trying to get information, and got a, "Sorry sir, we only have you booked in for 2 nights. So, like every other year, the trip was off to a bad start. Go to the airport, and my flight is delayed! Haha! Oh boy, do I love travel. Especially when I accidentally buy sparkling water and that shit fucking fizzes all over me. Great prank, bro. When I finally got to the room, it was actually nice as fuck. Up on the 24th floor and more than enough space for everyone staying there.
Welcome to the PAX Australia vlog.
Hey, what a cool traffic report. It's such a cool traffic report.
The first day of PAX is always pretty full on. Getting to the con, checking out the big things you want to see before the weekend kicks in, and more people are around. Oh, we'll get to that. I always make a beeline straight to classic gaming because I enjoy trying out the older stuff I don't otherwise have access to. So good this year, a lot that I didn't own compared to other years, and double the amount of arcade cabinets. Stuff like Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix, also known as Pocket Fighter. My friend Aiden and I discovered this game randomly on PS1 years ago, so that was a trip to play the actual arcade. There was also this crazy air hockey pong type game. This was really trippy to play. Everything was so weightless that it's actually really easy to mess up. I'd love one of these things. Of course there was other stuff around that I've shown previous years that doesn't need to be covered again. I got to play more Vectrix and Tempest 2000. I'll never complain about that. After looking at some pure filth, we went for lunch at Mickey D's where I was spotted scarfing down some McNuggets. That was interesting. Nice to meet you, mate. Please don't jump me from behind while I'm eating next time. I get very protective of my food, and you're lucky to be alive.
Sorry mate, just the camera's good.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Sorry, mate.
From here, we took a break and a short walk to the cash converters we visit each year to look for some game deals.
Are you after a good game, mate?
They actually had some interesting stuff this year. Everyone got at least one thing, so it was worth the trip. I hate going to places like this and not getting something. I picked up WrestleMania 21 on original Xbox, whoop-de-doo, and Kid Clown in Crazy Chase on SNES. I used to play this on my cousin's Super Nintendo back in the day, and while none of the other kids really liked it, I always thought it was a fun little game with a lot of personality. Been after it for ages, nothing super special or rare, and I paid what it's typically worth, but I had to get it. Going back to the convention, we found a wall to draw on which some of us had way too much fun with, and then I checked out some indie games. games. I don't have any footage unfortunately, not brave enough to strap a GoPro to my head, but the thing that always makes me laugh trying out indie games is seeing the developers sweat when something goes wrong, or you see right through their bullshit copycat designs. I played a game like Limbo, casting shadows to create platforms. I played Micro Machines with a Tron makeover. In fairness, that was actually incredibly fun. And I also tried out this 4-player hide-and-seek game. That was also really good. But then, it happened. As I gazed my eyes upon the Spyro Reignited booth, I just had to give it a go. Again, no footage. They didn't want us to film anything, despite me standing there with my camera the entire time I was in line. I did want to try Idle Springs, but since everyone before me played either that or Stonehill, I decided to give Sunny Villa a go. Now remember, these are early opinions, and for Spyro 3, the game I don't like out of the original trilogy, I really enjoyed it. However, the charging and general camera took a little getting used to, but the jumping and gliding, it really put me off. Spyro felt incredibly heavy and almost delayed jumping, and I felt quite rushed trying to glide over to a roof that normally isn't an issue. I'm sure I'll get used to it with the actual game, but yeah, it threw me off quite a bit. To think me, of all people, actually enjoyed the skateboarding more so than the actual level, and I think that's saying something in my opinion. Of course, I barely got 10 minutes with it, so it's hard to say just yet, but presentation-wise, fucking 10 on 10.
These vlog boys are ready to do some high energy, low energy arm day. I don't know. Arm day, leg day, what do you do?
Today I'm working buys and tries.
Buys and tries.
So for you fucking nerds that don't know what that is.
Look at that arm.
This is a bicep. This is a tricep.
Nice.
So like, just remember kids, education is important. Big muscles.
Education.
Not even on roids, but it sounds like it.
Because I'm already too muscly, I'm just going to go for a swim in the pool. Let's go. That wasn't even on camera, I don't know why.
I wish there was a mirror there for that.
After a pretty hectic day, it was time to go back to the room and relax in the pool. Fuck yeah. And the hot tub. Fuck yeah. It was just the de-stressor I needed after Tony Hawktober, and after a good night's sleep, it was time for day 2. So remember how they only booked us in for 2 nights at the first room? Luckily they had a second room for us up the road for the Saturday night, but we couldn't check our shit in until later that day. So we had to cart all of our stuff up the road, lock it into storage for the day while we went to PAX, and come back to get it later. A huge fuck around, but at least we had a place to sleep.
Get it out of my room, Mom!
Oh, it's so fucking loud. Jesus, that rocked this entire building.
It's okay, because we're leaving.
It's okay, because we're leaving. But my name's still down in that number, and yeah.
But mine isn't.
When we arrived on Saturday, holy shit, the line to get in was ridiculously long. Like, I'm talking out the door, snaking around trees and covering the entire grass area outside. We were in there for 15 minutes before they told us if we still had our wristbands from the previous day, we could just go straight in, so fuck yeah, skipped the line. Honestly, I didn't get up to much on Saturday. I literally spent the entire day just catching up with people and hanging out. Had a lot of really awesome conversations with so many cool people, so thanks to everyone who took the time. I really appreciate it. Just try to ignore my height in this picture. It's been tampered with. I promise. And thanks to Lucy for the presents, was really awesome of you. Came home with a couple of goodies, and now that I've got this full trilogy, I'll be looking to cover them at some point, so cheers. I also got to meet Crash Bandicoot. poor little guy. He was dying inside this suit, but I shoved him back in for a photo and then walked up the river to meet Spyro. He didn't do or say a whole lot, but he did try to flame me, so that was cool. This thing is actually a barbecue. They were cooking meat inside of him. They had lamb meals you could buy, but that's kind of dumb. It was more like they were serving dragon backstrap, to be honest with you. Still really sweet though. And yeah, that was pretty much Saturday at the con. Not a lot to report because I didn't do a whole lot, but it was still a really full and fun day, topped off with a new room at the end. Bit lower to the ground this time. The debate was if a person could survive the drop from 8 stories up.
At least we can sit down out here without having to move furniture and shit. And we're not so high up that I feel bad about it.
Yeah, like, you could jump and probably not make it still. I think I might just...
Jump? No.
Yeah, it's like waiting for the elevator, I'm gonna have to go.
Oh god, I wouldn't even joke about that. You gotta give me anxiety.
I gotta be honest, at this point, I'd just given up on trying to film shit for the video. I was doing stuff, but it just wasn't interesting. Sunday, I met a few more people, so thanks again to those who made the time to see me. Love getting to chat. A lot more people to see this time around, to the point where I was just running into them everywhere, so thanks guys. I didn't have much time on Sunday to do a whole lot, flying out in the afternoon, but I did get to see a Crash Team Racing speedrun that was actually really interesting. I'd seen a lot of the cool tricks before, but there was also a lot that I learned. I also learned the guy running the game thinks the soundtrack is terrible. And honestly, after that, I felt like breaking his nose, but still, it was a nice relaxing end to the trip. A trip that overall started off like all the others before it, overdosed in chaos, but coming home to the channel performing the best it ever has, despite not having a whole lot going on since October and until Spyro Reignited drops, meeting so many awesome folks at the con and just having a really good time. This was easily my favourite PAX to date. But as good as it was, I'm just glad to be home with the new love in my life. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog thing. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and share. I'm Square Eye Jack and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.